The name of your movie is?
It's Blue Note Records, Beyond the Notes. It's the title comes of what Lionel Lueke says in the film, quoting Herbie Hancock, that he is beyond the notes. So
That was a good quote. Beyond the Notes. This is a movie about the evolution of a jazz record label, would you say?
yeah, it's also the story of the evolution of jazz and the connection to hip hop. So we make that connection not only in terms of sampling, but also that current hip hop artists record with Blue Note artists. So they play on their records. So it's not just sampling.
Yeah. How did that happen? How did that get started?
Well, in the case of Kendrick Lamar, the album that we mention in the film, To Pimp a Butterfly, that was Terrace Martin is in the film as well. He's one of the producers on that album, and he comes from a jazz background, and he's very important in bringing the two together. In the case of the Kendrick Lamar album, and Robert Glasper and Ambrose Akin Musiri.
Is this a movie you think would only appeal to people who are familiar with jazz from before seeing it?
I don't think so, and I'm trying to figure out ways to get people to come to the cinema who are actually not necessarily jazz fans. Because what I've been seeing, friends of mine come, some of them have no particular interest in jazz, but when they come out, they discover like a whole new world. And it also speaks to them. I think it speaks to artists of all backgrounds, because it's a lot about the creative process. But there's also life lessons in the way these musicians play, and in the way they are in the moment, and sort of try to be part of a whole.
Were you this familiar with the history of jazz before you made the movie, or did you study specifically in order to produce it?
I learned a lot while working on it, I had a very broad knowledge, but never, it's much, much bigger now. But it's only limited to Blue Note.
Who are some of the Blue Note artists who you feature?
Well, Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter are in the film, and their music is featured as well, including a live recording session of a Wayne Shorter tune. Thelonious Monk is featured, Bud Powell, Miles Davis.
Clifford.
Sorry?
A Song for My Father, Clifford.
Horace Silver.
Horace Silver.
Yeah, Clifford Brown.
Clifford Brown.
Then in the later years, Nora Jones, Robert Glasper, us three, and all the young guys that are playing in the session with Herbie and Wayne. So it should give sort of a good overview of the last 80 years.
Where will it be opening in theaters?
It will open in New York City at the Metrograph on June 14th and at Lemle Santa Monica on June 28th. So please tell all your friends to come, because it was difficult to find distribution here again.
Why?
I still think. The film came out in the UK and in Canada, and America is sort of comes in at the end. I don't want to speculate too much why that is, but it's interesting to see that also the archival footage we use was all shot in Europe. From the 60s and 50s. So
Yeah, well,
I hope the Americans will learn to appreciate their own art.
Well, sometimes, as the Beatles have proven, that it takes Europeans to refine and polish what is really an American natural resource. It takes a European eye.
It certainly took the Swiss taxpayers. to fund this. So
But when you get an Academy Award for Best Documentary, I'm sure all the people from those will be in Hollywood that night. Let's hope so.
that would be lovely.
It's a terrific movie. It's very well directed, spectacularly edited. The editing is great. The audio is great.
Mention the name Russell Green, who I also edited my last film with about Harry Dean Stanton. We still love each other after having, spent a year in a tiny room together.
Making creative editorial judgments. No, but I think it's quite a masterpiece of, it's remarkable. Good, congratulations, and I hope in America you get the success that you deserve.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.